When I knocked
Okay.
on your door. Yeah,
Okay,
so
when-
that was the original.
Yeah, so him and his friend came over.
Yeah.
I think I was getting my hair done, or I was
Mm-hmm.
doing Felicia's, but I knew something was up because she's always up to something. So they came in the house. We were doing hair or whatever, and I think, did she ask? If
Well,
I
it was
doing-
awkward. So we
awkward,
were
yeah.
sitting by the door. She's doing Felicia's hair.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
And so no, they end up leaving. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
and then Jamila bangs on the door, runs into her.
Hold on, listen how it goes. So we're making a plot in the hallway, the way our apartments were. So your doors lock automatically without a key. It just locks. So when you shut it. So we're basically we're in the hallway. I'm like, man, I want to give her my number. So she's like, I got you. She knocks on the door real softly, and then she just takes off running into her room.
Right, which is right
And
across.
I chase after her. She slams the door so it locks automatically. At that point, you opens the door.
And I'm like, who's knocking at my door?
Yeah, she opens
So hard, because it was like one of those do
Yeah.
knock and run. So she did that, and I opened up the door, and I'm like, hello? And he was just like, well, if you ever want to call me, here's my number.
Yeah, well, I said, if you want a friend, here's my
Oh,
number.
yeah, if you ever want a friend.
Real player like grandma.
Right. And so I don't know why I kept the number, but I kept his number. And I mean, eventually,
I think a month or so later we
went
called.
by,
Yeah.
and
We watched The Notebook.
we watched The Notebook. That was our first.
And what really did it, you cleaned
Date.
out my ears. She cleaned out my ears, and I've never had my ears cleaned thoroughly. So, not a good job, grandma.
Not from that.
Not a good job.
Got them cute.
Cleaned out my ears, and I was like, okay.
I'm a picker. I like to pick at bumps, and if I see something, I want to dig it out. So
And I think that did
he
it.
had those ears. I just wanted to clean it out, and
Yeah. And that did it. I think that triggered, at that point, we started hanging out more, watching more. And it was great friendship for the most part.
yeah.
I think at that particular time, I was just looking for something, not to say serious, just something more intentional, I guess. It was, so that triggered it. And I, obviously, years through college. And then we decided, I was actually going to go back to Tulsa after graduation. And I was going to move my brother and my sisters. To be truthful, what would have happened was it had been a long distance relationship. It would have been very difficult to keep going, but possible.
Yeah.
Right. So, but my sister, she told me, she said, Chris, don't do that. You got a situation started. See that through,
Shamika.
See that through. And from that point, fast forward, I think we had a conversation with your mom and dad. Well, I had a conversation with your mom and dad because I started feeling a little heat of, friends was like, hey, when you going to marry her?
Yeah, Grandma was like, I'ma ask him.
Yeah.
Grandma right here.
But this is.
And I'ma ask him.
But the way that I am, if anybody really knows me, I don't see the purpose. I never have seen the purpose of just even having a many girlfriends. It just, to me, it's like that's a step. Not saying you're getting ready to be married, but it's like a trial period. It's like, to me, instead of just doing, wait till you're married to do all this, you're, I don't know how to even put that in words, but to me, I was very intentional. Again, very intentional. I didn't see the purpose of being a boyfriend and girlfriend if I potentially didn't see some future with this particular person.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind was, and I could feel the heat. And I had a conversation with your mom and dad when we were actually doing the U-Haul, getting ready from the apartment to the U-Haul, and I could just feel it. And I just had to have the conversation, and I don't know exactly what was said, but I wanted them to know that I was serious about Shantae.
Yeah.
And the person that I am, if I'm serious about something, I'm going to see it through. That's just who it's always. If I'm not serious, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, because I don't believe in wasting people's time personally.
And we still together.
So after marriage, I guess now.
I guess you never know how much free time you have, now with kids until you start. We had a lot of times where we would just kind of get up, go, make some runs to late night.
But we were we were doing graduate studies too.
We were studying. So this was after we had got married. We were in the house. We just had those are some of the fonder memories when we were fresh. So we were new. We just got back from our honeymoon. I think we had just signed up for our graduate programs, and We had a lot of nights together where we would be able to study together, and make late night Whataburger runs. This was before
Chunky Creek.
we transitioned to our plant-based lifestyle.
Remember.
But
Remember,
we used to eat, boy. We used to go to Sonic and make those runs, and then just watch movies all night.
Mhm.
It was some good times. Good times. Not saying that they're not now with the kids, but
Well, I think that leads into
Yeah.
the original question, just more, what are those happening? That triggers it. Those were the grinding to at some point, because I was, working at Enterprise, rent a car, and if anybody know me at Enterprise, it wasn't nice. Well, it wasn't mean, but I just wasn't very satisfied with the situation. And she, one thing that's the one thing that I appreciate about Shantae, she's patient with me because I'm very, I think I'm nice, but I can also be very, not mean, what's the word? What would you say? Just assertive, firm. And sometimes, Grandma, that's not an easy personality to deal with,
Yeah.
It's not an easy, and I recognize
It took some adjustment.
that's not an easy
It
problem.
took some adjustment. When we first dated, I would say, see us for crazy.
See, it's for
He
crazy.
was a little crazy.
Yeah.
But he said what he said.
Yeah.
He means what he means. And you don't really hold a lot of things back. You are
Yeah.
very upfront, and you're passionate about the things, that you're passionate about. So when you talk about it, you're just, it's not aggressive or mean. It's just it's to the point, and it's just showing his love.
Yeah.
For the most part.
And it
depending
takes
on
a
what it is.
special person to deal with a special person like that. And I think that, to me, I don't know, Shantae, we had this conversation. I'm sure Shantae didn't feel the exact same way that I felt about her when I first met her, because I was introducing her to my sisters.
I know.
In like the first
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks. Like, hey, I got this wood, very happy.
Yeah,
I did see that.
point, I really wasn't looking for, I would say, a relationship, but somebody, you could have conversations with, you can hang out with, things of that nature. But it led to a real bond,
Oh,
a
yeah.
friendship. And then, of course, that friendship grew. And, when he did meet me, introduce me to his family, I knew right away, because, they were literally just like my family. Like, I can go to Tulsa and feel like I'm still at 4716 at that time, South Harvey, and now 5400.
Yeah. Who bring
Oh, I guess so. Don't
Yeah.
put those in there. But anywho, I'm just saying, I feel like I'm at home with my parents, and my sister, brother, nieces. I just feel right at home. And that was at the very jump of our relationship.
And this is the thing that I think. I think even about like just even our marriage, I like to say, there's obviously traditions and certain ways and societal norms of a relationship. I would say, in my personal opinion, I think that our relationship is totally different, and it's not totally different, but it's different. Different norms, different traditions.
Yeah.
Both of us are very family oriented. We hit the highway. Have many miles we put on our car to make sure we're a part of both families.
Our nieces, our nephew knows that we're here for them, that we love them. We try to see them as much as we can. And that's I would say that's the tough part about, having, meeting somebody who's from a different state or things of that nature. You have to, you miss the other side of the family for a minute. So.
Yeah. So hopefully answer your question. We have a lot of fun memories.
What's the next question? Because I feel like we stayed on one and then just.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've our palates have changed. Chris was the first to change his palate when it comes to food. I think that's one of the major transitions that we've done over the 10 years is changing to a plant-based way of living as far as food, and really just trying to do better now that we know a little bit better. So Chris started his journey. This would have even been before pre-COVID, really, because even probably a few years before that, we had started to stay away from different types of meats. And then we slowly progressed into where we are right now, where we try to eliminate all meat and dairy products. Well, not try. We have eliminated all meat products. I still dabble in dairy at times, but that is very few and far between. And the reason for that is, again, just to try to live a little bit better.
Progression over perfection.
And not saying that everybody else is not. It's just from what we've researched and what we've wanted to do for ourselves is where we are today. So that's why even today I've tried to just incorporate some of the ways that we eat and still find fulfillment in our foods.
What's that little rap lyric? I can't remember it, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like a
food to replenish the soul.
well, soul food.
Yeah.
So you know how black people, we say, soul food, and for me, I think like even eating vegan is more of even the diet or the physical. I think of it as a emotional, spiritual change, and that's another level of talking about how much because that'll change people. If you doing all the cooking, I decide to eat a different way, and now you have to start cooking differently.
Yeah.
Like when you think about how the type of stress that can put on a relationship.
There was a little resistance.
There was some resistance, but not, that honestly wasn't resistance. It was just like, hey, you cook your own food. And for me, luckily, I'm not a person who needs a lot of variety in the beginning. I want variety, but I understand it.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. I'm like, man, she didn't have to become plant-based. I started cooking it. Like that's
tacos.
Yeah.
And that did it. I said,
and your boy don't cook.
Tastes like, why does this taste so much like fish? And so it just kind of sparked the interest, like, well, what else could I create that would taste like some of the foods that I enjoyed growing up on, So then that's when the gumbos and the taco soups and the fish and, oh man, the crab cakes. I mean, there's not much that I can't do. I mean, if there's something that we want to try or that we miss,
so
I'm gonna figure out a recipe to do it. So that's probably the biggest transition or tradition now that we've incorporated for ourselves, and now trying to pass down to our children now.
Well, I'm really grateful for in terms with Shantae, that she supports, she trusts my decisions. And I teach people all the time to stand behind a decision. Each decision isn't always the right decision, isn't an easy decision, but in the particular moment, it's with the circumstances, the situation, whatever it is, you make the best decision for that moment. And one thing about Tay, whether she fully agrees or disagrees, she supports. And to me, that's, again, I hear, and it's not about what I hear from other people, but you hear, I mean, we live in an online era. It's 2024 currently, the 10 years, 2024, and we live in this era of online where you hear everyone talks about their relationships and what they'll do and things like that. And I look at Tay sometimes like, man, I'm grateful. I don't have to, not say deal with that, but I'm grateful that that's not our mindset about certain things. We understand that life is a journey, and each individual moment is just that. And what I can say is that even though, I would never say it's easy, but it has been simple with Shantae, because she, again, some of those things that most people, I guess, complain about, I don't have to experience, and I'm thankful for that, for sure.
Well, I mean, for me, there's, on so many levels, what I'm grateful for. One, just more recent, present tense, starting a fitness business, or becoming an instructor. It takes a lot of time, and so I don't know if I would have been able to do what I do if it wasn't for the amazing partner that I have, because there's a lot of days I get a little choked up. There's a lot of days that I miss, or that are long, not say necessarily miss, but are long. And he makes it worthwhile. I mean, he makes it capable of being that way, you know, leaving work, then going to the studio and then coming home at 8, you know, kids are already fed in the tub, you know. Sometimes,
Every
but
time.
you know, it really does take two, and I'm grateful for that, because if I didn't have him, I don't think I would have been able to actually do something that I'm very, very passionate in. I love being a nurse practitioner, but something about being with my fitness group that just brings a different side of me out, and I love it, and I want that if I could every day. So the days that I do get it, I'm grateful that I'm able to have it because of you. So I do appreciate that. And then another thing I'm grateful for is, again, being able to transition to this plant-based life. I think I told you that a month ago. I just called him and was like, thank you. I feel good. I'm telling you, like, it is very it's kind of eye-opening when
It's an aha moment.
It's an aha moment. Like, wow, like
lots of
we have done this for so long, and I don't know if we would have been doing this if it wasn't for you, and I feel like I still feel like a 16-year-old girl because of this transition, and I have every reason to be grateful for you for that.
Okay,
So,
I'm getting a little. I'm about to act the fool there, sir.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so
keep going. Yeah.
Those. That's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. Advice to my younger self:
Say, little Chris.
know what you have when it's right in front of you.
Right.
He loved very hard in the beginning of our relationship. And I wish I could tell my younger self, love him just as hard, because
Don't do that though.
there's nobody out there that will love you like he loves you. And so that's what I would tell my younger self. 10 years later, I love this man. I've, of course, loved him for a very, very long time. But each passing day, there's something else that I just hold on to when it comes to our relationship, or hold on to when it comes to him. And I won't take that for granted anymore. So
those young, we won't tell that one. Those young stories, those young
those are
years.
tough.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, we made it through those years for sure.
Yeah.
That's how I personally knew, because all, the wedding and the pictures and all the new relationships, those honeymoon stages, they do pass, and when they pass, you want a strong foundation.
Yeah.
What I say to little Chris, to be honest with you, I think I wouldn't change anything. What I will say was I would just try to be a little bit more patient. Don't be so quick to anger. And but on the flip side of that, I have to, if those things didn't happen or whatever, the personalities, would we be at this point? I think sometimes those situations are the reason we are the way we are today. So you're thankful now. And this is just any challenge in the world. When you come against a challenge, you have to start knowing that you are 100% successful in each of your challenges. So there will be a period where you laugh about it and you smile about it, even in the tough times. Yeah. So if I can tell little Chris, it's like, ooh, instead of being so mad about a challenge, like, ooh, here come a challenge, you about to grow.
If that seed wasn't just that crazy, we wouldn't be here.
Crazy for sure.
You gotta have a little crazy.
Be patient, keep going, don't change, for sure. First of all, I want to do this again. We made a lifetime. We're blessed to have my grandparents. They passed, but I can't put a number and how many years they were married. It was in the 70s. They lived a few lifetimes in terms of years they were married, and she come from a family. Her parents been married for quite some time. My mom and dad been married for quite some time. Her sister, we come from foundation. When people make that commitment, you're there. So 10 years, I want to grow. I want to keep growing and learning. But I know, just be present.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any major manifestations, because I know we're going to continue to grow. Our family's going to keep getting stronger.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
I want to stay lively. As long as we're lively and we enjoy this thing. Chris said something on her Facebook post that caught my attention. She said they make this thing look fun. And when I hear people complaining about their marriage and situation, and I'm just sitting there, not in the sense of blaming, but one thing we've done is accept accountability. Like, I can't change her, and vice versa. So it's really important to accept the things that I can change and be accountable. I think that's real sacrifice. So as long as I can keep the same mindset and growing within our relationship and our marriage, I'm fine with that.
I pretty much
She says that.
I second that. Yeah. I just really, I mean, 10 years from now, I just want, again, us to be just as happy,
Right.
just as full of life, and our kids to be just as happy as they are right now, and just being around our love, so that it can be poured into them. So I don't really have any,
I still want to be able to do a
ambition.
pull-up. I still want to be able to do the stanky leg.
Right. And I still want to be able to step on that board and get down.
I still want to move and live. What's the word? Is it with vitality?
Vitality. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And that's that. Deuces. 10 years.
Oh, I'm putting stop.
Watch out.
Okay, what's up?
Rip your shirt.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. You know how I am. This thing gonna come off. We're gonna be all belly.